What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Muzzlebroke channel, and we got a cool review for you today. Today we're tackling the XP Pro by Fusion Firearms, a beautiful 2011 that does indeed take Glock mags. In this 1,000-round range review, we're going to go over the specs of the gun, first impressions and first shots, do a thorough comparison of this gun to some Glocks and some 2011s, assess the accuracy of the firearm. You know we're going to be ripping some bill drills. We'll talk about the performance of the gun over the 1,000 rounds we shot through her, and then lastly talk about my final thoughts on this piece and answer the question, should you buy this? But first, real quick disclosure. So Fusion Firearms did send out this piece to me. There was no exchange of money. I'm not getting paid $1. I have no affiliate agreement with Fusion Firearms. I don't know them nothing. And because I'm always giving you guys 100% honest and real feedback, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the Muzzlebroke channel. Absolutely free to do. Click down below, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out an absolute ton because a very low percentage of you who watch my videos are actually subscribed to the channel. So help me out, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get into the review. I really did have fun with this gun. First, let's start with the specs. So the XP Pro by Fusion Firearms is a 9mm double-stack 2011 style gun that does take our standard 17-round Glock mags. We do have a 4-inch ported bull barrel in this guy with a 4-inch tri-top slide that features both front and rear serrations. The gun comes with an aluminum grip with checkered grip panels with a weight of 35.5 ounces and an overall length of 7.5 inches. The gun comes with a blacked out rear iron sight and a white dot front sight as well, and actually comes in the box with both RMR and RMSC plates, as well as two 17-round Glock mags. You can grab this gun in either chrome or black like we have here on the channel, as well as with a ported, which we have, and a non-ported barrel. Some other notable features of the gun is that it does come with our standard Picatinny rail, a mag well from the factory, ambidextrous safety, and extended slide release. So first impressions of this gun were actually really great. First off, the styling of this gun just looks really sick in my opinion. I was a big fan of the porting in the slides and barrel. It looks really clean. The serrations on the front and back of the gun are really nice, give your hand a good spot to grip and rip. I was absolutely in love with the extended slide release. Typically that's a big problem on 2011s. Love that it came with a mag well from the factory, and the trigger is really phenomenal. Little bit of take up, trigger break, reset, little bit of reset, and we're good to go. So a couple other things that caught my eye on the first impressions was that the gun did come with a hard carrying case, which is always nice, and it does come with both RMR and RMSC optics plates, which is awesome. I hate when I buy a gun and I have to go buy those plates. It's really irritating. One other thing that kind of surprised me after I got my hands on this gun was the MSRP. So this gun MSRP's right at about 1,100 Dino Nuggets, which for a 2011 platform is really great. Not to mention a ported 2011 with a mag well and a pretty phenomenal trigger and those optics plates. But there was kind of one thing out of the box that I wasn't really sure about, and that was going to be the grip. So because this 2011 does take Glock mags, we do kind of have a little bit of a more Glock angled grip than a traditional 20 or 1911. One other thing that I did notice about the grip is that it's just kind of skinny. When we're comparing that to a traditional 2011 or even one of our standard Glocks, the grip is just a little bit skinnier. Now the checkered panels and the mag well definitely allow me to get a good grip on the gun. That was kind of the one thing after playing around with it a little bit that I wasn't quite sold on, the grip angle and the thickness of the grip. But because of how clean the gun looked, the ports, the trigger, and just kind of the fit and finish, I was pretty pumped to get this to the range. Y'all know I love running my 2011, so let's take you to the range for the first shots. So we got the very first shots with the XP Pro by Fusion Firearms. Let's let it rip. I'm excited for this one, boys. So it does shoot pretty dang flat. I like that. Ports in the front are definitely doing a good job of keeping that muzzle down for me. It feels pretty good. Locked back, no problem. We got a second mag here. Let's just dump it as fast as we can. Pretty nice shooting gun. Let's run the hell out of it. So first shots for the XP Pro were great. I didn't really have any problems gripping the gun due to that thin grip and Glock angle. The trigger on this was absolutely phenomenal, and the ports really did a good job of kind of keeping that muzzle flip down for me while I was shooting. And our extended slide release worked really well to reload the gun without having to switch up my grip, which I did really appreciate. So after our first shots, we of course ran the piss out of this gun, as we always do here on the Muzzlebroke channel. Had a ton of fun filming the montage for the beginning. The gun shot very well and very nicely. So after about the first 500 rounds, we went ahead and compared this gun to some other 9mm pistols. So let's take you to Sweaty Muzzlebroke at the range for those comparisons. So because the XP Pro is a 2011 that takes Glock mags, I wanted to kind of go through and see how that compared to both some Glocks and some 2011s. So we do have 4 other handguns we are going to compare this to, all are chambered in 9mm. We're going to compare it to our standard Glock 17, as well as the Glock 17 with a pretty big compensator on it, the TWC Hex by Jacob Gray, and my custom Springfield Prodigy. We're going to pop some rounds off with the XP Pro, even though we've been shooting it all day. Very light recoiling, very controllable, muzzle flip isn't bad. Directly comparing that to our standard Glock 17. Full-size Glock is very controllable, but you could definitely feel that this is quite a bit more snappy than the XP Pro. So let's try the Glock with the comp. So definitely a little bit less snappy because of the compensator, but as I kind of expected, the XP Pro is shooting a lot nicer. So next up, we got the TWC Hex. I'm gonna go back to the XP Pro here just to get a side-by-side. These two are pretty darn close in my opinion. Both have very minimal muzzle rise due to the ports. I think the Hex may be just a little bit less snappy due to the weight of the gun because it is a little bit heavier than the XP Pro. But also important to note, the Hex is over 3 times the price of the XP Pro. So something to think about. So last gun we're gonna compare to is the ported Springfield Prodigy. Obviously these ports are aftermarket and they do a really good job of reducing that muzzle flip, but let's see how it feels. And then directly comparing that to the XP again, because it does feel kind of close. Okay, I will say I think the XP has just a little bit more muzzle flip than the ported Prodigy. So in my opinion, the XP Pro here actually did a really good job when we compared it to all those other guns. Now, why are the comparisons important? I mean, obviously on today's market, there are so many 9mm pistol options at all different price points. So you really kind of have to weigh your pros and cons, and that's kind of what I was trying to tease out during that exercise. Comparing the XP Pro to a standard Glock, I mean, hands down, the XP Pro shoots better. It's got ports, it's a 2011 style gun, better trigger, heavier, you know, that's a no-brainer. It's gonna shoot better than a standard Glock 17. Comparing the XP Pro to kind of one of our Gucci or Glocks, kind of the same situation. Even with the Sylvan Arms comp and slide on this Glock, our XP Pro just shot flatter, faster, better. It's a 2011 style gun. So if you're looking for the flattest and fastest shooting gun that does take Glock mags, I mean, this is gonna be hands down better than any Gucci Glock in my opinion. But this is obviously more of a 2011 style gun. We have our metal frame, single action only trigger, 2011 style controls. So it was of course very important that we directly compared it to some other 2011s. Comparing the XP Pro to the Hex, I think the Hex shot a little bit better. Does that surprise me? Not necessarily. Both guns are ported, both guns are very nice 2011s in my opinion, but the TWC Hex by Jacob Gray is literally over 3 times the price of the XP Pro, so you kind of have to assume just kind of some magic in the engineering of the Hex makes it shoot just a little bit better than the XP Pro. Giving you my honest opinion, I do have to give the edge to the Hex. To give you an exact percentage, I don't know, I would say maybe this shot about 10% better, and when I say better, flatter, faster. The other 2011 we compared the XP Pro to was the Springfield Prodigy. Now this Prodigy specifically has had a ton of work done. We paid for some V8 ports, we paid for a 2.5 pound trigger job, and I did add a mag well. I think out of these two, I do have to give the edge to the Springfield Prodigy. I would maybe say again about 5 to 10% better shooting than the XP Pro. But when we're talking cost and value, I would have to give the edge to the XP Pro over both of these 2011s. So out of the box, the Springfield Prodigy and the XP Pro are gonna be about the same cost, kind of around that $1,100 price point. But out of the box, the Prodigy didn't come with the mag well, the trigger job, or the ports, or the RMR plate for that matter. So I think that's the value in the XP Pro. Summing up my big comparison spiel in one sentence, the XP Pro by Fusion Firearms is gonna shoot better than a Glock and pretty darn close to any other 2011 for a lower price point. So at this point in the range review, we were about 750 rounds in, no malfunctions yet, no issues with the gun whatsoever. So after we got all those rounds down the barrel, time for the accuracy test. So we've had a ton of fun with the XP Pro so far, no jams, it shoots really well, but let's go ahead and make sure that it is practically accurate. We're here at about 25 yards or so. We're gonna squeeze off 5 rounds just as carefully as we can, and we'll see what our group looks like downrange. All right, let's see what we got. So we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots right there. Those are all within about 1.5 inches of each other there. So happy with that accuracy grouping. Again, this isn't a precision rifle, it's a handgun, and I'm very happy with that for a handgun accuracy. So for a 4-inch barrel, 9mm handgun, we were very pleased with that accuracy. Practical accuracy for the XP Pro is 100% there. No issues with the accuracy, even after that big round count before we started the test. So I was having a ton of fun shooting this guy. I was getting real comfortable with the grip, real comfortable with the trigger, real comfortable with that recoil impulse, which due to the ports really isn't bad. So I really wanted to see how fast I could run this guy with some bill drills. All right, so we've seen how accurate it is, but let's see how fast we can get it. Let's run some bill drills. Very snappy bill drill. That was a 1.04 on that one. I'm very happy with that time. The trigger on this gun is great, and in combination with those ports, I mean, you could just get this fast. Let's see if I can beat that time. Woo! A 0.95. That's actually faster than I've gotten with most 2011s. Let's run that one more time. A 0.99 for this. To have 2 times under a second from a low ready like that is very impressive for any gun, let alone a pretty inexpensive 2011 style gun that does take Glock mags. So as you can see, the bill drills with this were a ton of fun. I mean, we were getting sub 1 second bill drill times, and I was just really pleased with that. Again, the trigger on this is really crisp with a really short reset, and between the ports, the trigger, and the weight of this gun, you can just run this sucker and run her fast. So summing up the overall performance of the XP Pro. We ran 1,000 rounds through her and had absolutely zero malfunctions. I did use a handful of different ammo types during this review, mostly Blazer 115, really cheap 9mm ammo, which some 2011s really don't like, and she ate her flawlessly. I did have a box of like 50 subs that we ran through her, no problem, and I did actually run a mag of hollow points through this gun as well, just because this actually may be making my nightstand pistol rotation. So as far as performance out of this, I had absolutely no complaints. Shot flat, shot fast, didn't jam, accurate, speedy bill drills. I really have no qualms with the gun. If I did have to give this gun one critique, it's kind of something I mentioned earlier on at the review, and it's going to be that grip angle and that grip width. Now, it's not bad. This is not a bad gun to pick up in your hand. I'm being nitpicky here. The magwell does do a really good job of giving my pinky and the base of my hand a good spot to rest on, so I can grip the gun pretty well, and the texturing on these side panels is pretty good too. It's just a little bit thin for me personally. Now, could I solve that problem and roll some goon tape over this, make it a little bit thicker? Yeah, I absolutely could, but I think that would take a little bit away from the aesthetic of the gun, which I do really like. But with any handgun, or really any gun in general for that matter, I do really recommend you at least pick it up at the gun store and just kind of manipulate it a little bit, see how it feels for you, because everyone is going to have, of course, totally different preferences on frame size, grip angle, thumb placement. I mean, this is all a game of preference here. So tying everything together, my final thoughts on the gun and who I would really recommend this for. I mean, overall, I did really enjoy this 2011. It's got some really great features out of the box with the ports, the trigger, as well as our optics plates that are included. It shoots flat, it shoots accurately, and it does shoot very fast. Now, is this the most high-end, best 2011 money could ever buy? I mean, no, it's not. Is it very comparable to other 2011s that are 2 or 3 times its price point? I mean, I would argue yes. And we had no malfunctions, which in my opinion is kind of most important. So I would really recommend this gun for someone who wants to get into the 2011 market and wants a really nice shooting gun and doesn't want to have to spend a ton of money to get it. The price point of this is really a selling point to me. I think the value you're getting for this gun is actually really high. The fact that it does take Glock mags is really nice. Everyone's got a bunch of Glock mags laying around, so you can load them up, take them to the range, and just have a good time. If you're someone who has some money, doesn't want to spend $4,000 on a 2011, but wants to beat the hell out of your buddies with their Glocks at the range day, I think this would be the 2011 for you. You get a gun out of the box that runs really nice, that comes with some awesome upgraded features that you don't have to send off for porting or trigger jobs or any of that jazz. So we had a ton of fun reviewing the XP Pro. I really did enjoy this gun at the range, but I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. What did y'all think of today's review of the XP Pro? Would you buy this over other 2011s, or would you rather stick to your Glocks? If you guys could do me a huge favor, please subscribe to the Muzzlebroke channel. I really do appreciate it. Every subscribe means quite a bit to me, and I do really appreciate you guys watching this content. We do have some pretty awesome range reviews coming up in the very near future, including some pretty awesome 9mm PCC builds, and of course some awesome AKs. So we really appreciate you watching the review today. From all of us here at the Muzzlebroke family, we wish you a very safe and happy week. Y'all have some fun out there.